lesson 55 of Digital Marketing 3, where we are going to be looking at decision 4. So these are the decisions that you need to consider when formulating a strategy. So we have already discussed decision 1, which is, market and product development. We have discussed decision 2, which is business and revenue models. We have discussed decision 3, which is targeting. And today we are going to be discussing decision 4, which is positioning and differentiation. But before we dig deeper into decision 4, I'd like one of you guys to just give us an overview of what we discussed on decision 3 on Friday. So what is it that you can remember about decision 3? But I know that you were in class on Friday.
I was never in class.
I can register every day.
I'm joking, sir. I was in class even on Thursday, so I only missed one lesson Tuesday. I was in class the whole week last week.
Yeah, Zem is not the reliable one.
What do you mean I'm not reliable, sir?
I wonder how she manages them to. You're not in class on Thursday and on Friday. You're in class on Tuesday.
Hi, sir. Okay.
All right, what can you remember, Matapelo? Can you give us any hints, something that we can discuss on?
Say
Or everything got swallowed on during the weekend?
everything got solid, sir.
Papalas.
No, sir, I don't have papalas at all.
Okay, guys, we looked at target marketing, and we discussed that one or the other, your product, your brand must speak to a certain audience. I even asked you guys, I think, Matape, if you remember, I even asked if there's a brand that you think it is specifically targeting you as an individual. Do you remember that exercise?
Yes, I remember.
Yeah, so that was about the target marketing strategy. Meaning that when you are formulating a strategy, you need to bear in mind of who this strategy is aimed for. Okay? If it is a B2B business model, so it means that that strategy is speaking to other businesses. Hello, Atura.
So can I ask something?
Yes.
For example, let's say I want to ask something. Do you think when it comes to target action, I was looking at that the news from yesterday and today, they're actually talking about that on the news. Do you think that that drink called Prim or something that was like very famous like beginning of last year?
Which news now? Because there are lots of things that are being discussed on.
Okay, said I was watching the morning news on ETV and ENC, whatever it is, the thing.
Yes.
Yes, they were saying that the drink, the drink prime or prim, something like that drink. It yes, it is. Now it's 7 rand from 800 to 7 rand.
Okay.
Do you
So what
do you?
was the question there?
My question is, does it mean that the brand didn't know their target market or they knew what they were doing?
Mostly, remember you've got a buyer persona in mind already.
Yes.
Okay. So if, for example, if you are producing crop tops, you would know who is going to wear this crop top. And it doesn't necessarily mean that that generation is going to wear crop top. Like even nowadays, you can even find old people wearing crop tops.
Yes, sir.
Like very old, you see they're wearing crop tops. But we know, generally speaking, we know who is the target audience for crop tops, right?
Yeah, but I was confused because but they said it's not a South African brand. It
Mhm.
came last year here in South Africa, and then it was in different flavors and everything, and now it is like 7 range, from 800 to 7 range. Now they're selling it at like a price of 7 range.
Maybe they're still in the introduction phase, like Temu. What is Temu is doing right now? So you never know what is going to happen afterwards. But a
Maybe.
brand must speak to a certain audience. You know, even though there are no parameters or barriers to other segments of the audience, but it must have a specific target
Mm.
audience, the one that you talk to. Otherwise, you are going to spend lots of resources, not knowing who must, be directly linked to the products that you are aiming to bring in the market.
Okay.
So we are sort of going to continue on targeting, but now the focus is going to be on the brand itself. So today we are going to look at positioning and differentiation. So at the end of this lesson, you should be able to explain the differential advantage. Remember, there's a difference between competitive advantage and differential advantage. You must also be able to discuss the online value proposition, and you should also go through the activity in the textbook for you to familiarize yourself well with the concept of position. So these are the key concepts that we are going to be discussing a lot as this lesson progresses. We're going to look at positioning, differential advantage, online value proposition, and multi-channel prioritization. Is there a term that you feel like it's your first time hearing, like it's very strange to you?
No, for me, no.
Okay, good. Zemzem and Watura.
Same, sir. There's no term.
Okay, so before we theoretically unpack these terms, I want to ask you guys, how do you position your personal brand in your family and in the community where you come from?
So can you repeat your
Wait, sir.
question?
Can you please repeat?
How do you position your personal brand in your family and in the community?
So, like for me, it's hard, sir. It's like I can't change. It's like I'm loud at home, and even in my community, I'm loud.
Okay,
It's like I can't. It's like if I need to change, I feel like now I'm faking myself.
all right. And would you say that's unique to your siblings?
Would I say it's what, sir?
Would you say that being loud, are you unique to your siblings,
Yes.
or all of you are loud?
No, it makes me very unique to my siblings because even the other day, my mom wanted someone for at our house. She was at the street. My mom was like, Matapela, please call out someone. I was like, why me, mommy? Out of all the people, like, I need to leave my room to just call other people, and you're sitting with people in the city. She's like, your voice is very loud. I know that person will hear me no matter what.
Okay, so you're the loudspeaker.
Yes, sir.
All right. And would you say that can be related to your personal brand?
I would say so. Again, I like to tell people that I'm very bubbly, and I can't go to a place and now I need to be mysterious, whereby I can't be bubbly. I need to be very serious to that extent that I'm kind of like giving this, this kind of rude attitude. I can't. I'm
Yeah,
always
but I think the word serious is too much. Maybe to be reserved.
not say there's say you can I also can be reserved when the place wants you to be reserved, like, but there's this type, for example, my friend, I know one of my friend, when it comes to us, she is the most lovely person you can meet, and she talks, she smiles and everything. But when we go, let's say when we go to a restaurant or something, she start, now when people talk to her, she start like giving this rude attitude and like mysterious vibes, and it's not okay. It's like you're faking yourself. To us, you like this, but when you go to this place, you change.
Okay. Let's hear others. KB, how are you, KB? All of a sudden, he's acting as if his mic is not working. Zem.
Yes, sir. To be honest, I don't know how to answer this question.
Okay, let me simplify it for you. How do they see you at home and in the community where you come from? Or is it still difficult?
No, sir. I'm thinking.
Okay, all right. But guys, can you see the relevance of this question to branding?
Yes, sir.
But we are going to get into that. All right, let's go to the second question. Alice Zemzem is still thinking. Why do you think positioning strategies are relevant in digital marketing?
Why do we think what, sir?
Positioning strategies. So do you think all brands out there are the same?
No.
Is Coca-Cola the same with Pepsi?
Similarities? No, it's not.
So if they are not the same, it means that they position themselves differently. So why is that necessary in digital marketing? That's what I'm asking. The same way Matape will say that you are completely different to your siblings, you are the talkative one, right?
Yes, sir.
Patura, I see you want to say something, or it's just your mic. Okay, guys, so positioning in digital marketing refers to how a product, a service, or a brand is perceived in the minds of consumers relative to competitors. So it's about defining where your offering stands in the market and how you want customers to think about it. It involves identifying unique selling points and communicating them clearly to a target audience to differentiate yourself from others. I think we have seen that very well from Nando's, for example. So the way Nando's, communicates, especially in its marketing campaigns, it's completely different, to the way other, brands within the same segments, communicate. I'd feel like Chicken Licken does sometimes sort of like follow the Nando's way of doing things, but somehow they never get there. What do you think, guys? So creating a distinct image or perception of a brand in the minds of the target audience is very critical when you're talking about positioning. So it is about how a brand is perceived in the marketplace and how it differentiates itself from competitors to occupy a unique and valuable place in consumers' minds. So positioning is crucial due to vast amount of information and choices available to consumers. With countless websites, social media platforms, and online advertisements vying for attention, brands must clearly define their positioning to stand out and attract their desired audience. So that's where it gets tricky because there's so much noise in the digital space. You know, every brand wants your attention. So now it is crucial for brands to have unique voices, to have a unique voice, to create memories so that they may be able to differentiate themselves from all the noisemakers in the digital space. Does it make sense, guys?
Yes, it does, sir.
Positioning can also be tricky, especially considering, counterfeiting products. You can see even with phones. I've come across so many smartphones that look like, Apple phones, for example. Then they've got this unknown name, and mostly I believe it's from China because the Chinese are very good with copy and pasting. So it becomes very difficult to know the difference between the actual brand and KB. You saying something?
He's asking if we can hear him and we can't hear him.
Oh, okay. Can you hear us, KB? Watura, can you hear us? Because I know Zemel Matapelo can hear me.
Yes, I can.
Good. And you are busy. You are busy whispering. Where are you? Usendlini kabani?
Labazali bami.
Okay. All right, guys. So yeah, there are many counterfeit goods that look familiar, to the authentic brand. So it's always tricky then to set yourself unique in the polluted digital space. Thank you, KB. So some of the reasons
So can
why
I ask a
positioning is
question?
relevant in digital marketing. Yes, Zemzem.
So, sir, realistically speaking, how would somebody who wants to be in the travel space position themselves as a brand?
Why specifically travel space? You got a job in travel.
No, sir, I just have an interest, so I want to know how would one position themselves.
But what do you mean? Because travel is very broad. Are you talking about airlines? Are you talking about accommodation? Are you talking about
Okay, both
safaris?
airlines and accommodations.
You see,
Or you
it
can
always,
do one.
yes, it always starts from your target. That's why we unpacked the decision tree, which is your target market. So who do you want to engage with? Okay, like your services. Who are they tailored for? That's what you need to understand first. Is it for AMA 2000? Is it for baby boomers and so on? So once you get that, and then you've got your own persona in mind, you can then come up with positioning strategy to say that this is the tone that I'm going to have towards my target audience, and this is how I want to be remembered. But remember, the perceptions that people have of you is theirs, it's not yours. You can think or you can believe, you can have faith that you are beautiful, while some see you as ugly, or vice versa. So that's how it gets tricky in marketing, because sometimes you can feel like you are the best, but the consumers and the sales that are having, the engagement that you are having, will determine, the perceptions that the consumers have in their minds about you. Yazwakala Zemzem.
Yes, sir, I understand. I just wanted it to be a little bit more specific, but I do understand the breakdown.
Yeah, the problem is that I can't be specific because I don't know who the target audience is. So start from the target audience. Now, for example,
Okay,
if the target audience is Zulu people, you need to set something very unique that is going to resonate with the Zulu people, that anyone cannot like copy from stuff like that.
okay, I understand now, sir.
All right. So here's why positioning is relevant in digital marketing. It sets competitive differentiation. It also can lead to target audience alignment. It reduces brand perception. It contributes to content strategy as well as conversion optimization. So by strategically defining and communicating, their unique value proposition, brands can effectively engage their target audience, build brand loyalty, and drive business growth in the digital space. Any questions about positioning?
No,
Karabo?
sir.
Karabo? Matapelo, where's your boyfriend in Kamo?
Say, Kamu, my I rebuke that in Jesus' name, amen. Anyway, Ngamu classes they clash
Oh, there's a clash.
yes, they clash, but he literally joined us later on. If you have noticed, even if we're doing face to face, he comes when after our break.
You see, so I was right to ask you, even though you rebuked something, but I knew that I was going to get a definitive answer from you. So yeah, those are things that you need to consider, guys. Literally speaking, if you are in Kasi, positioning will be your style. Some call it swag, like how you differentiate yourself from others. And you need to use that differentiation then to have a competitive advantage. It must not just be, differentiation in terms of how you appear or how good your products are. So it needs to give you a competitive advantage. So you can't just say I'm Coca-Cola and I'm different because I've got a red logo, because I've got diverse products, Fanta, Coca-Cola, and so on. But with everything that you have, those things that make you different from other brands, how is it giving you a competitive advantage? How is Fanta giving you a competitive advantage over Miranda? Is it Mirinda or Miranda? That orange drink for Pepsi. Manje
So
nangalibuza-
I think you're on the right thing. I don't know how to pronounce it, but I don't think they're that different though.
I know nalibuza ngesavana lapha, you tell me something right, not with drinks, eh?
No, it's a good thing to ask about things that we usually know.
Okay. All right, now we move on to differential advantage. Differential advantage, also known as unique selling proposition, refers to the distinct feature, benefit, or attribute that sets a product or a service apart from competitors in the eyes of consumers. It represents something valuable and desirable that the competition does not offer or cannot replicate easily. Guys, can you give me an example? We start from retail stores in South Africa. So name brands that have got a differential advantage in South Africa. Retail stores.
Wait, sir, can you please repeat your question?
I said name brands that have got a differential advantage in South Africa. So we are looking at retail shops at the moment. Which one do you think has got a differential advantage?
I'm just guessing. Woolworths?
Yes, Woolies. Yeah. We've even come across some memes about Woolies, saying that their water is exquisite. Do you remember that video that was trending on Twitter? I think it was 2018 or 19, about Woolies mineral water. Didn't you guys come across that on social media?
Yes, sir. And that it makes you speak good English.
Yes, it makes you speak good English. Yes, that's correct. You always have people are so creative and come up with memes about about brands. Okay, so in retail stores, you guys said it's Woolies. What about banks? Banking? Which one do you think has got a differential advantage?
I think
KB, no way. KB is saying that Woolies water makes your skin glow.
Makase.
Yes, Watura?
I think F&Bs.
You think FNB? Why do you think it's FNB?
Because I'm not sure, but apparently they have PayPal. I'm not sure.
Oh yeah, I know
Yes,
that one.
F&B does have PayPal.
Yeah,
Okay.
so I think
So from your understanding, that's what sets FNB apart from other banks.
yes,
Can be arguably be so, because I know I opened an FNB account just because I wanted to link it with PayPal, and other banks did not have PayPal. So that
yes.
could make sense. Let's go to network providers, telecommunications. Which one do you think has got a differential advantage?
Maybe it would
Vodacom.
be Vodacom.
Vodacom. Okay, why are you saying Vodacom?
I'm not sure if other networks give fiber, but I
Okay,
know with Vodacom, you can request fiber as well with your router.
all right. It was not only Zemzem who said Vodacom. I heard many voices saying Vodacom. Let's say someone else. Maybe your answers might be different. Watura, why do you say Vodacom?
I think Vodacom has the best network. I don't know. Maybe it's not for every place.
Okay. Let's talk about cars, automobile brands, car brands, guys. Which ones do you think have got a differential advantage? Hey, Watura wants to say Vrpa.
No, no.
So I know this is so unconventional, but like there's a new car. Okay, it's not new, but Cherry, like the latest updates that they put on that car, that if you come too close to it at the back, like the hazards go off.
Can you come again? If we come back to the back, what happens?
Like there's these like the hazards of that car, like the Cherry, like they
Yes,
go off,
yes.
like if you go too close.
As anyone or as the owner? That's very interesting.
Yes, it's trending. I don't know if people have seen that.
Okay. Then smartphone brands, guys, which ones do you think have got a differential advantage?
So it's obvious iPhone.
You can't tell me that it's obvious. I wouldn't know. What if Watura wants to say that it's Mobicel?
So I think it's iPhone.
Okay, but I do understand that you guys now know what differential advantage is, right? So in digital marketing, having a strong and clear differential advantage is crucial for several reasons. And one of those reasons are a differential advantage may give you a competitive edge, as you have seen with these uh, brands that you have mentioned, you know. And with a competitive advantage, you can also know, with a differential advantage, you can also know who your competitors are. You know, I always hear people comparing Shoprite trolleys with Woolies trolleys. Have you come across that, guys?
Yes, and Woolies and Shoprite are not in competition.
But they always compare Woolies trolleys and Shoprite trolleys. And have you guys used both?
Yes,
And do you think the comparison is you know is applicable in this sense?
you can kind of say so.
Okay, all right. So yeah, there's competitive edge, there's value proposition, but above all, there's also brand identity. You can be able to, to familiarize yourself with the brand. Like you guys easily mentioned, the brands that have got a differential advantage. We can also have targeted messaging as well as conversion optimization. So by identifying and leveraging, unique selling points, brands can effectively compete in the digital landscape and achieve their marketing objectives. And I think I've used the Nando's example a lot, but I also want to use something. Have you guys been to Twitter and see how the city of Johannesburg engage with the audience on Twitter?
No, sir.
Yeah, I think it makes them very unique compared to other municipalities in South Africa, because they've got these amazing ways of engaging with audiences on Twitter. Like they'll be communicating something that is very, very sensitive, but they use the trending languages in Kasi. They use these memes, whether it is about drunk driving or overspeeding. There's just a way that they communicate with the audience. That it makes you laugh, but at the same time, it makes you heed the warning or whatever that is being communicated in that message. So uniqueness must not only come in the brand itself or the products, it must also come in the way you communicate and engage with your audiences. The language that you use to engage with audiences, it needs to differentiate you from, the competitors, especially when you're engaging online. Any questions about differential advantage? Okay, since you guys do not have a question, I've got a question for you. So since we are discussing, we are unpacking decision four. Why are we discussing decision four? How does it fit in the strategy formulation? Everything that we've discussed so far in this lesson, how does it fit in the formulation of a strategy? uhloko akwele. Watura.
Sir, can you repeat the question?
I said, how does positioning and differential advantage fit in the formulation of a strategy? Why do we have to consider this when coming up with a digital marketing strategy? I've repeated it as you asked.
So for a competitive edge, I'm reading here. And brand identity.
Okay, let's hear some Yava.
I'm mentioning things that I understand. So I do really understand value, proposition, targeted messaging, and conversion optimization.
All right. What about others? Namhlanje ayinabantu babalanced. Namhlanje. Matapelo.
I'm here, I'm listening.
Remember, guys, the series that you are working on are on SOSTAC. Do you remember SOSTAC?
Yes.
What does SOSTAC stand for? You people don't study, eh? After class, you don't read. Kara, what does SOSTAC stand for? See, you're saying something, but we can't hear you. Guys, can you hear Karabo? I see his mic is on, but I can't hear anything. Everything that we've been discussing in this chapter must be related to strategy formulation. Okay, and we discussed SOSTAC at the beginning. We even had some 3 examples from Zem, Matapelo, and Po, if I remember. I don't understand why you guys cannot remember. On how you analyze the situation. So that was part of the situation analysis for SOSTAC, which is the first S on SOSTAC. Then we also discussed the objectives. We discussed strategy. We discussed tactics, action, and control. So when you are coming up with a strategy, so now we are still on the second S of SOSTAC, which is strategy. When you are developing your strategy, first you need to understand the market development and the market penetration, product development, and diversification. We discussed that under decision 1. You also need to understand the business model. So if you are developing, for example, a strategy for Coca-Cola, you need to understand the business model that Coca-Cola has in place. You know? Is it a B2B company? Is it a B2C company? Because if you ignore that, your strategy must not be compatible. You need to understand the environment in which you want to bring that strategy to life. So you need to know the business models, and this is how the strategy is going to fit in. You need to understand the target marketing, because one or the other, that strategy must speak to the audience, which is targeting 3. So now we are also talking about differential advantage and positioning. So you need to understand the positioning of a brand when coming up with a strategy. Like, how does this brand set itself apart from other brands? So your strategy formulation must also consider that. For example, you cannot come up with a marketing campaign for Nando's if you do not understand the aspects that makes Nando's different from other brands like KFC or competitors. You need to think about that. Otherwise, you're going to come up with a campaign that is more similar to your competitors, because you did not understand the features or the aspects that sets Nando's apart from KFC. So this is why we are having this lesson. It is part of strategy formulation. You need to think about how the strategy is going to give you competitive advantage. Does it make sense now, Sam?
Yes, sir, it makes sense.
Cool. So in conclusion, when discussing differential advantages, you must not be confused with competitive advantages. The main difference between a differential advantage and a competitive advantage lies in the scope and focus. A differential advantage refers specifically to the unique attributes, features, or benefits that set a product or service apart from competitors in the eyes of the consumer. It emphasizes uh, the distinctiveness and appeal of a brand's offering related to others in the marketplace. So, for example, if we are talking about iPhone, we talk about its features like picture quality and so on. So those are differential advantages, features that you never find in other forms. On the other hand, a competitive advantage encompasses a broader range of factors that contribute to the brand's overall superiority or success in the market. So with competitive advantage, you look at almost everything, associated with the brand, its resources, its employees, and so on. So that's how you differentiate differential advantages from competitive advantages. Are there any questions or any queries?
Nothing on my side, sir.
All right, but does it make sense, guys? You seem to be very quiet today. I know Matapi will already say that you're in the holiday mood because tomorrow is public holiday.
Sir.
But did you feel like you learned something so far? Matura.
Sir, I don't have any questions.
I mean, do you feel like you've learned something so far?
Yes, sir.
All right. In the next lesson, we are going to look at decision 5. So we've done decision 1, which is market and product development. We've done decision 2, which is business models and revenue models. We've done decision 3, which is targeting. We've done decision 4, which is positioning and differential advantage. So in the next lesson, we are going to be unpacking decision 5, which is customer engagement, excuse me, and social media strategy. So guys, as you can see, I can name all the decisions that we've unpacked so far. And I also want you to do the same. The problem is that you guys do not engage with the resources that are available to you. After this class, you go straight to Twitter or to TikTok, then you don't have time to study at all, because you need to be able to be intimate with the stuff that we discuss on class to an extent that when I ask you this stuff, because we discuss this stuff together, you must be able to recall. Zem, at what time do you study? Be honest.
I just want to ask, if we're not
Yeah,
writing exams, what exactly are we studying for?
pardon?
Yo, bruh.
I'm asking, sir, since we don't write exams, what are we studying
Yes.
for?
So, Kathleen, you want us to bring exams?
But so why
No,
don't
I was just asking a genuine question. Like, okay, you're asking about studying, but
Yes.
no, literally, yo.
we're not in a position to say, okay, we're writing a test next week or there's an exam. So I was just trying to understand.
You are studying for engagement. Remember, we collaborate in class. You know, we need so much knowledge sharing. We learn from what you are coming across in your studies. Watura also brings something on the table, then we engage. But as it stands at the moment, no one is studying, and you know the engagement is very cold. So you
But
don't
sir, we're
study for examinations.
engaging. Okay,
Zem,
so how
Zem.
would you like the class to engage?
How many times have you been silent? You
Okay,
guys,
so
I asked you
I
what
think
what
we're
SOSTAC
silent
is.
on things that we feel, or maybe we're not confident in answering. It's not that.
Because you did not study, right?
It's not about studying, it's about comprehension. Maybe somebody might be feeling like, okay, I understand, but I don't know how to articulate myself.
Then you need to ask for assistance. Then we can help you articulate that. You know, at least if you say that, you know what, I have got this idea, but I don't know how to put it. Because I'm quite disappointed that you guys, no one could even say what SOSTAC is, and we did SOSTAC in class. If you were studying, you could easily remember what SOSTAC is all about.
But so we knew.
But how would I know? Because no one answered. But now you gave me some insights that you only study for examinations.
No, I didn't say that, sir. I was just asking a question.
Okay. But remember, it only helps you because there's going to be F3 and S1, and that one will require you to present. And I think I've emphasized several times that if you don't study, it's going to be difficult because you are going to be bombarded with questions like, what's your SOSTAC model here? And then you get mom, then you lose marks. Because you are going to be marked as you present. The same way in future, when you are employed in the marketing department, you are going to present your strategies in the boardroom. You are going to be asked questions, and you must answer those questions because you want to understand your strategy. So be able to unpack it and be able to explain and unpack everything that is being asked. So that's why I'm emphasizing that you guys must study. Whether there's an examination, whether there's a test, you just need to read widely, you know, you need to study. Watura, are saying something?
No, sir.
Okay, anything else? I know Matapen is doing this deliberately because I said she's talkative.
Sir,
Hello, I heard you.
I do study, sir. Usually I study. I only study like on like after our lesson, like to recap or to understand or to see if I can understand it myself. Hence, whenever you ask, Matapa, do you guys, can you guys someone tell us? I tell you guys what we did because I usually do it alone after, but I only do it on Fridays and Saturdays. But
Yes, so I
nevertheless, I'm
challenge you
giving
to do
other
it
people.
before again.
Oh, okay.
Yes. Remember,
Before
guys,
house, sir.
if you look at the first slides that we had for this lesson, I say that students must always come prepared to class to know what is it that we are going to be engaging with. That's why each and every lecture note
Yes,
has
sir,
got
but
a next lesson teaser. I just told you guys in the next lesson, we are going to be looking at XYZ. So I expect you guys to be prepared to discuss that with me, considering that you have studied and read about it. Then we unpack it together in class.
sir, we do that. I don't know if like they do agree with me. I do that. It's just that sometimes on my case, sometimes it's good to be a listener and just listen to what others say and like always talking, you know.
Yeah,
Sometimes
but
you talk a
but
lot, you
Zem has been
overpower other
talking a lot
kids.
so far.
Yeah, otherwise you talk and overpower other kids and they never have the opportunity to say anything.
Okay, yeah, I see there are people like Humphrey who are always quiet. I don't even know where he is today. Humphrey never miss a class. Hey B, can you hear us? Something wrong with my mic. Okay. Or maybe you're using a desktop. All right, I see your response. Yes, KB, you need to come to lesson prepared, please. Even if your mic is not working, you can write something on the chat.